Just a few months ago, there was only 4 states that had more houses for sale compared to 2019. But that's all changed because as of November, there's now 10 states that have more inventory levels compared to pre-COVID. When evaluating home price growth, it's very important to monitor housing inventory. If inventory is rising rapidly as houses are taking longer to sell, this could be a signal or a sign of a softening housing market. So in today's video, I'm going to talk about what's happening right now at the statewide level, but also the metro level as well, to share the states as well as the metros that have a lot more houses for sale compared to 2019. Of course, in contrast, the areas that still have a lack of houses for sale. Every market is different. If you guys get any value out of today's video, then please hit the like button. Also consider subscribing as well. I post frequent, as much as I can, housing market updates so you guys can be more informed. With that said, I appreciate you guys so much, and let's begin today's video. This is based, by the way, on a brand new report from ResiClubAnalytics.com, a fantastic website if you guys want to learn about everything that has to do with our housing market. Anyways, so looking at inventory levels, according to Realtor.com, it says here national active listings, which is the amount of houses for sale, looking at existing houses, excluding brand new home construction, that increased by 26.2% this November compared to November of 2023. So nationally, we're up by 26% year over year. But looking at pre-COVID levels on a national level, we're still down by 16.6%. Some markets, of course, remain very, very tight. Others, such as the Sun Belt and some Mountain West areas, are experiencing big gains of inventory compared to 2019. So here's inventory this year. And obviously, here's pre-COVID, 18, 17, and 19. And below here is post-COVID. So right now we have a lot more houses for sale compared to post-COVID, a lot more than 23 and 22, and of course 2020 and 2021. So inventory this November is at least a 4-year high during the same time frame, but still lagging behind 2017 through 2019. Here's a map looking at inventory levels over the past 12 months. As you guys can see, Nevada is up by 39.5%. California is up by 31%, quite a bit higher compared to the national average, which again is a gain of 26%. We're also seeing big gains in Florida, for example, Georgia, also Vermont and Maine as well. Also, interesting enough, even though Texas has a lot more houses for sale compared to 2019, they're only up by 24%. So on par with the national average. This is where it really gets interesting though, looking at levels this November compared to November of 2019. So in Florida, they have 15% more house for sale. Texas is up by 17%. We're also seeing big gains in Tennessee, up by 19.8%. Arizona is up by 18%. We're also seeing gains of 13% in Utah and 10% in Colorado. Idaho is up by 8%. These are new states here. I made a video 1 month ago saying that Washington and Oregon were very close to getting above 2019's levels. And here we are, up by 2% in Washington and up by 1% in Oregon. In contrast, in California, there's just over 60,000 houses for sale. That's obviously higher than 2020 through 2023, but still about 10,000 shy in 2019 and about 15,000 shy or 25,000 shy of 2018, and of course below levels in 2017 as well. Looking ahead in December, the states that are very close to being above 2019's levels are actually in Alabama. They're only down by 1%. Also, we have, Oklahoma is also up by 4%. But also looking at December, Nebraska is not too far behind as well, only down by 6.7%. In addition to that, Hawaii is only down by 8.1%. In contrast, much of the Northeast are experiencing a lack of houses for sale. For example, Illinois is down by 59%. West Virginia is down by 50.5%. We're also seeing big decreases in New Jersey, down by 59% as well. Connecticut's down by 70%. Also big decreases in Vermont and New Hampshire. New Hampshire is down by 48%. Here's another way to look at this. These are the states that have more houses for sale compared to past 5 years. Again, Idaho, Utah, Texas, Arizona, Tennessee, Florida, Colorado, Oklahoma, Oregon, and Washington. And again, Nebraska, Alabama, Georgia, and Hawaii are not too far behind. In contrast, look at Connecticut down by 70%. Also, Illinois, New Jersey, Vermont are down greatly as well. So why are some areas experiencing big gains of inventory, whereas others are not? Resi Club had a really good summary of this. It says one factor is that some pockets of the Sun Belt and Mountain West experienced even greater home price growth during the pandemic boomtown, which stretched fundamentals too far beyond local incomes. Obviously, a lot of people had new work-home arrangements. You can live anywhere, but they're getting paid not local wages. They're getting paid by their wherever their work is located, right? So the local wages are not keeping up with the growth rate of property taxes, home insurance, and of course, home prices. Once pandemic-fueled migration slowed and rates spiked, it became an issue in places like Colorado Springs and Austin. Unlike many Sunbelt housing markets, many Northeast and Midwest markets have lower levels of home building. As new supply, in other words, new houses become available for sale in Southwest and Southeast markets, and builders use affordability adjustments like buy downs to move it, or in order to get houses sold, it has created a cooling effect in the resale market. So we're basically saying here that areas that have this kind of like lessened effect of migration into those areas, on top of that, areas that have a lot of home building going on, that's really impacting the markets for existing houses in those areas. Speaking of that, here's a look at inventory compared to 2019 for the biggest metros. The biggest increases were Austin, Texas, up by 43%. Phoenix is up by 24%. Denver is up by 30%. Also, big gains in New Orleans, Louisiana, up by 18%. Tampa is up by 20%. Punta Gorda is up by 81% from November of 2019. Also, another pandemic boomtown was Nashville, Tennessee. They have approximately 23% more houses for sale compared to the past 5 years. In contrast, Hartford, Connecticut is down by 74%. I believe that was the biggest decline among the biggest metros. Of course, we have big declines in Detroit, Chicago, and Milwaukee, Wisconsin as well. In Sacramento, where I live and work as a real estate agent here, we're down by 14.4%. Quite a bit different compared to these other pandemic boomtowns. Kind of interesting, right? Phoenix up by 24%. Where's Salt Lake City, Utah? Salt Lake City, Utah is up by 14%. Again, Sacramento is down 14.4%. This November, there was 4,100 houses for sale. That's higher than post-COVID since 2020, but lower than 2019, 18, 17, and 2016. Same goes for Los Angeles. They're down by 14%. Riverside's down by 14.8%. San Diego's down by 21%. And San Francisco or the Bay Area there, is actually up by 8.7%. Here's yet another way to look at inventory levels on a national level, and then Austin, Texas, and the greater Sacramento area as well. So for the US as a whole, again, we're down by 17% over the past 5 years, but Austin, Texas, the greater Austin area, is up by 42%. Sacramento is down by 14%, in line with the national average. We are seeing big gains in Sacramento, though, over the past 4 years and 3 years, but we're only up by 4% over the past 2 years. But we are up by 39% year over year. In contrast, we're seeing big gains in Austin, Texas over the past several years, a giant increase of 209% over the past 3 years compared to the national average, only up by 86%. What's really interesting in Austin, Texas is that even though they're up greatly in year 3, 4, and 5, they're only seeing small gains over the past couple of years. So for example, the year-over-year change is only up by 16%, whereas the national average is up by 26%. Yet another way to look at this is looking at inventory since January of 2017, which is right there. So this November in Austin, Texas, they have around 9,800 houses for sale, obviously higher than any other November since, keywords here, at least November of 2017. In contrast, looking at the greater Sacramento area, there's only around 41 houses for sale. That's higher than last year, a little bit higher than 2022, obviously higher than 21 and 2020, but we're still lagging behind pre-COVID levels in November 17, 18, and 2019. Going back to Resi Club, it says among the 50 biggest markets across the United States, Austin, Texas home buyers have gained the most leverage or power, a buyer's market. I actually just referred a couple people to Austin, Texas who want to buy houses there, and agents told me there that it's been a buyer's market for about 2 years now due to a glut of inventory. So you can write offers well under asking price right now due to that factor. In contrast, among these 50 biggest markets, Hartford, Connecticut sellers have retained the most leverage and power due to a lack of houses for sale. So among the 50 biggest metros, Memphis, Tennessee is actually up the most over the past 5 years. It's up by 44%. Then we have Austin, Texas up by 42%, the Orlando area up by 32%, Denver up by 30%, Phoenix up by 24%, San Antonio, Texas up by 23%. In fact, there's now 13 metros that have more homes for sale compared to November of 2019 out of 50 biggest metros. In contrast, much of the Northeast has a lack of houses for sale. So for example, Philadelphia is down by 37%. New York is down by 46%, quite a turnaround compared to the past couple of years. Chicago is down by 54%. And of course, Hartford, Connecticut is down greatly, down by 73%. With that said, if you guys want a real estate agent referral anywhere across the United States, then please check out my website, which is realestateteamfighter.com. I'm also a licensed loan officer here in California. Of course, we'd love to help you with your refinancing and purchase needs as well. And of course, if you guys are new here, I invite you to subscribe as well. Thank you so much for watching today's video, and we'll see you in the next one. Thank you.